everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Hey, you guys. Happy Saturday. How are y'all doing? Hey there, Angie. Hey, Firebox. Hey, Shine Louder. Okay, I'll have to take a look and see what you're going to be posting. Hey there, Kelsey. How you doing? Invert the photos and look at... What do you mean the red patterns? Because we can already see the stuff. I don't know what photos you mean. Maybe I'm not tech savvy enough to understand. I'm really not that good with that kind of technology stuff. Hey there, Maggie. Hey, Patty. Hey, Tori. How you doing? Hey there, Crystal. I don't know how I feel tired all the time. I guess it's because once we get going, I wake up a little bit. But that's kind of cool. Hey there, Sarah. Deep diver. Yes, that's great. Well, thank you, Tori. I mean, honestly. Yeah. Hey there, Caddy. How you doing? Hey, unapologetically me. How you doing? How you doing? Hey, Helen. This keeps me awake at night, too. I think about all kinds of things. I think about a lot of things when it comes to this case, especially when something new comes out. You can't help it. You have to try to piece it all together. Yeah. It's hard to just relax whenever this is like constantly in the back of your head. I do not have a Discord. I guess I could make one for the channel. I mean, I'm probably not going to moderate it. I don't moderate this channel. I don't have any moderators. It's just me. But I guess I could make one for the channel and we could maybe do stuff over there. I'm not good with Discord. I don't really know Discord. Like, I got on Discord once a long time ago when I was learning how to work some program. What was it? There was some support thingy on there for some program that I was trying to do when I started my print-on-demand stuff. And then I was invited into another channel's Discord, but like I never go over there. Yeah, but I guess I could make one. I guess y'all can like tell me as I'm going down the chat if y'all want me to make a Discord for you guys to talk on. Because then, you know, we might do that. We might do that. We'll see. I just don't want a bunch of crazies going in there because we do a really good job of like keeping the people like that are the extreme, you know what I mean? Like out of here, the people that just can't come in here and give their opinion without being complete a-holes. Because there's lots of people in here that have differences of opinion about lots of different things, and that's fine, which is like awesomely like the whole point. But we do a good job of keeping the extreme people out of here. And so if we go to a whole new platform with something like that, I don't know. We'll think about it. I'll think about it. Still trying to figure out how BK's DNA was there. I'm stumped on that. That's the whole point with it being such a small amount and there being all these other unknown DNAs on it itself. That's the biggest question. The arguments with it, the whole thing about them wanting to change the IgG story, not being honest about the genealogy, deleting the profile that they used to even get there, and all of the facts on top of how minuscule and random it is, and then all of the things that happened while the investigation was going on, and not just with like one entity. At the end of the day, whatever the FBI did, the courts were completely okay with. Admitted that things all happened, but said that they were constitutionally unimportant. Admitting all of the things against the Department of Justice's rules that were broken, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter. They admitted all of the things that were broken, but then at the end of the day said it didn't matter. Was going to put someone on the stand under oath to tell a completely different story about how they got to Kohberger. And even now, like in the coffee house crime video, the way that he is telling it is his storyline goes with the 1129 car in the PCA, and then all of a sudden they're in Pennsylvania. He doesn't mention anything about the IgG in between, nothing. He goes from, oh, this tip that actually was never a tip because it was never called in. They never gave it over. They didn't even know about it till after 12/19. he takes it from there and goes straight to Pennsylvania trash. And I'm like, wow, who wrote you this script, bro? Because remember, we caught that already when they started telling us that they were going to be changing the IGG story, and Judge Hippler gave both sides the order to get together and tell a story that you can sleep with at night. Don't you guys remember there was this episode that came out that had Banfeld and Enton and like all these other people in it, and they were telling the story and completely glossed over the IGG. It was almost like instantaneous. As soon as the courts made that decision, there was already a media story ready to go to implant that into the public. And it went from there. I remember that crazy shit. We went over that video. It's wild to see like it in real time, the facts be erased, the way that the governments and these media channels that are paid off, have done in so many cases, be it political or not, stuff like this for some reason or another. They find a way to go in and just like start erasing things. And if you aren't doing what we are doing, you don't even notice. You don't even notice. Whew, crazy stuff. Super crazy. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with this little interview. Now, I will tell you guys, put a 1 in the chat if you remember me telling you, hey, we need to go back. We need to go back because there were friends of Kaylee's that were talking about a possible stalker from before she ever even moved into 1122. Do you guys remember that? You guys remember that? Yeah, she's back there, Zeldy. She starts here's her feet. She's so freaking big now. I was looking through pictures of her from whenever we found her, because remember, she was like broken. Her hips were broken. She had a huge chunk of meat out of her leg, and she stunk. It was like rotting. It was so bad. She had a huge chunk missing out of here. For the first like 3 weeks, she would potty on herself because she couldn't tell when she had to go to the bathroom. She's freaking long. I nursed this back to beautifulness with no vet. Because if I would have taken her to a vet, they would have said, oh, just put her down. No. I did all kinds of things for her. She was never in pain. She was fed all the tubes and all the treats and all the things, and love and cat tubes. Love and cat tubes. What links? What you need? The Google Drive thingy, my bobber. I have like the whole folder. I have like the whole folder that I need to post, because I give you guys like pieces of it. Like when we talk about something, I'm like, oh, here's the link to this, but there's like the entire freaking folder of just like all kinds of stuff. So I need to put like the full on folder out there. But you guys remember that? I'm going all over the damn place. You guys remember that? The whole thing about there being a stalker talked about beforehand? That's these girls. That's these girls. That's why my thing says what it says about a gift from a stalker, because they mention how they were all in Moscow for a lunch in September. And remember Kaylee talking about this. Well, that was right after she moved in there. Okay, so yeah, that was after she moved in there. So she was at King Road at that point for like a month and a half. She is at a new location. And at that point, whoever was staying with her over the summer had moved out, because that came from these girls too, about Kaylee living at King Road and having a roommate over the summertime. And I think people found out who that was, but I don't remember off the top of my head who it was. If you guys know, you guys can put the name in the chat, but I don't remember the name. It's not coming to my brain like usually I can like picture it. I can't remember anything about it. So that person must have been like in the room with her. They must have been sharing the bed together and like splitting whatever the fee was for that amount of time. So she would have been in King Road for barely a month and a half, maybe 2 months at the max, had barely been there by herself without a roommate. And the girls were together at a lunch in September, and Kaylee not only mentioned a stalker, but then said something about getting a gift from said person. And apparently this was also discussed in like Facebook Messenger. So I'm questioning, were the messages from like this conversation ever subpoenaed from Facebook? Because they would have had this conversation in the Facebook Messenger sometime in September. Well, if she's telling multiple people about a situation that had nothing to do with the Winco, and had nothing to do with the door being wide open the weekend before for Parents Weekend when Bethany and them saw the door wide open. And getting a gift from this person, I feel like that's probably something the cops should have like taken more credence in, right? You're getting a gift from somebody who's stalking you. That means that they know where you are. Now, the thing about that is that we did have like a, was it USPS or UPS? I can't remember which one. It was one of the mail services, and they were looking for like the cameras for the trucks that were driving around in the area, but I don't think the dates were for back in September. I haven't gone back and looked at it. I'll have to go back and find it. But remember also, Steve and them came out in an interview and said something about having to sign permission so that they could like access Kaylee's mail. So I'm wondering if they actually found out who that person was and maybe ruled them out somehow. And that's why we haven't heard about it. Because if you're going to be giving this story to people, and these two girls don't mention anything, I don't believe so, about like the Winco. They're going straight to like what was said to them in September directly from Kaylee. And nobody else is telling these stories. No one else is telling the story. Everyone that lives with Kaylee is telling the Winco story and telling the one that Bethany told everyone about Kaylee calling her about seeing someone when she was out with Murphy. But this other set of people are telling this other story. Now, the thing about this too, though, is that in this report, and it's report number 75 for you guys that have the Google Drive. I'll give you that right now. I'll give you all the link for the folder while I'm talking about it. And I'll show you guys what it looks like. Because everything as far as I understand is in here. Because it's just literally like the Idaho v. Kohberger folder. Share, copy link. Let me make sure it doesn't have the damn permissions on it because I'm not about to be able to like answer a whole bunch of emails. Okay, anyone with the link? Okay, there it be. And I'll show you what it looks like real quick. Everything's in here. Like, this is what it's going to look like. Like, this is like the folder. So this is going to be like all the reports we've looked at, like any of the videos, the Celebrite stuff, anything that I've already given you like raw access to in separate freaking links. Like everything is just like this link. So if you just keep this link and just refresh it when I give you like something else, it'll always just be in this exact same link, and you don't have to worry about all the other links because this will just be easier. Plus, there's all kinds of shit on my computer that I need to transfer into here. So I might do that tomorrow because my main goal today is to get videos done. I want to do this live, and then I want to do another live, but I really want to get these edits done. I might actually do my other live on my other channel and talk about the Nancy Guthrie story. Just live to get some ideas about what people are thinking, because Twitter is just crazy with some stuff. And I just kind of wanted to like see what everyone's feeling like. Okay. If you go to the MPD right here, where it's like all of them, and you can like see all of the reports in one scroll down, this would be page 170 to page 172. Now, the only thing that we're missing in way of this and the report is whoever this RR person is. I don't know who RR is. RR is the person mentioned at the very beginning of the report that gives the cop information about Jordyn and about Kassidee. But I don't know who RR is. I went to their Facebooks and checked around on their friends list and saw like maybe one person with those initials, but it was a married last name, and I don't know if that would have been that like back 3 years ago. I did look at the witness list, and I looked at the state's list, and I didn't see anyone with the initials RR on there. So I don't know who RR is. Yeah, there's any of the photos that we've seen are in there. I also plan on going into like the big drop that got taken off. And be careful doing that one, because when it was going crazy before, it was like limiting whoever could access it, which I don't really quite understand. I didn't know anything about Google having any sort of like limitations on stuff, but I do want to go in and separate them out. I should have done that before I started doing like my deep dive videos because it's been like a little bit more difficult to find the pictures that I'm looking for because I don't have them already separated out. So I'll probably go in and like separate bedrooms and then like the rest of the house stuff at some point. I have like a whole idea about how I want to finish like organizing everything. It'll eventually get there. Eventually. Okay. We're going to go ahead and start this. It's short. It's only 12 and a half minutes. But the information here is interesting because, again, September, nothing about Winco, nothing about what Bethany had to say, something about having some sort of stalker and getting a gift from this person or getting something from this person. That means that this person is either mailing her something, dropping something off at where she's at. Like, what in the frick are the details of that situation? And that's a whole nother thing, too, because if that is true, this is two people that are saying that they've been having this conversation. This is a group of friends, multiple. At this point, it looks to be like maybe 4 altogether because the RR girl gave Vargas these 2 girls information. And then there's another person that's mentioned from, I think it's Kassidee, the one that's talked to last, about talking to them about getting more information about what Kaylee said about this stalker back in September. So this is a whole group of people with this exact same story that heard this from Kaylee at this specific lunch in September. I want to know the actual like details to that because that's seems a bit extreme, especially when you pair it with the Epstein too. I want to start going through the Epstein stuff and doing small videos of like things I see on my other channel, starting with the Kerrville stuff and the Bank of whatever. What was it? Bank of the Hills. Just not enough time in the damn day, bro. If I had an editor, I could get so much shit out. It's been something I've been contemplating. I just don't know if I can afford an editor. But I know that I could get more out if I had an editor. So eventually it would balance out. I just don't know how any of that works. My son just doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to sit down and do editing, which I understand because that's the part I hate. I like having creative control so I can be specific, which is my big bitch when it comes to the coffee house video, because he's using like old stuff from 2023 when he's talking about the sentencing and like generic footage of like some random neighborhood and not the neighborhood that's being discussed. And it's aggravating. So I like having control and making sure that like things are factual, but damn, it's time consuming and I hate it so much. I hate it so much. Okay, I'll figure that out eventually. It's not even important. Let's go ahead and get started with this. Pay attention to what's being said because, again, this is a whole different story than the rest of it. And I find this interesting and plausible. And I also wonder why the family didn't know about this. Like, if Kaylee's telling a whole group of people about this, how come the family didn't know anything about this? It's kind of crazy.
Just wanted to get my recorder going so I won't miss anything that you said.
Yeah, you're good.
I'll look into that. Thank you.
So yeah, I spoke this morning with
Yes.
and she was telling me that you were probably like the closest person who
See, it almost sounds like she wants to say Rebecca. I don't know. I'm going to look into the names that are in the chat.
you spoke with Kaylee often.
Yeah, we were pretty close. I'm currently living in, I graduated from U of I last year. And so I moved back home. But me and Kaylee were planning to move together soon.
This is the girl that Kaylee was supposed to move in with. I don't know if this is the same girl. It's Rachel. Okay. I don't know if this is the same girl that she was supposed to go on her vacation with. You guys know if this is the girl that she was supposed to go on her out-of-country vacation with. And I asked that because on this girl's social media, she says something about, not her social media, where she works. And I'm not going to out that, but where she works in her little like, hi, my name is, and this is about me. She mentioned something about going, traveling out of country for a while. So I don't know if this is the one that she was supposed to go on her vacation with, but she just said her and Kaylee were supposed to end up moving in together at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, so we spoke frequently. I mean, as much as one does, but it was mostly about moving and our plans and stuff.
Okay. Any information that like she has shared with you? Tell me about. She mentioned at one point that she thought someone was following her or stalking her. Did she ever mention that to you?
So no, she didn't ever mention anything recently to me. I mean, I've been hearing the rumors and stuff of just people saying that it was a stalker. And when I heard that, I have like a distant memory of her mentioning something, but I can't remember any details of it. Like I have like a weird memory of her like mentioning that something along those lines, but there's like nothing that I can remember to connect it, you know? And I was up there, and the last time I saw her was the week of October 3rd. And before that was in June. It was her birthday. It was like June 14th, I think.
So she saw her in June and then again in October, and that was the last time she saw her. But also in September, she said, because that's when the lunch was in September.
Once I graduated, I only saw her 2 times in the June 14th and then October, the week of October 3rd. And I don't think it was either of those 2 weekends, but she said something. I think it was like when I was in school, maybe the end of my senior year. That was in like May.
So last year.
Yeah, but like I said, like I don't know if this is like, I can't remember any details, so I don't know if that would like happen or if it was just like people are saying these things and I'm like grieving and maybe making it up. I just really don't know.
Yeah, she's on the phone with them. She's calling her on the phone. I don't know where they're at when they're talking to her, but her and the other girl are together, like I guess in the car. That's why it kind of sounds like that, because I guess she's recording it on her body cam while she's having it on speakerphone, kind of like the Jack Showalter one. Y'all remember that one?
Right. Okay. Yeah, that totally makes sense. So was there any information that she shared with you? Anything concerning that she felt, or did she have any issues with anybody?
No, that's the thing. Like, me and her were like, with FaceTime, we talked mostly about like moving and stuff, but she didn't mention anything. I don't like, there was no one that like didn't like her or like anything like that, you know, like I can't think of any person that like didn't like her or would have it out for her, you know?
What about did she ever share with you any like potential interests in anybody, male or female, or anyone who was like hanging out with her or wanted to get to know her or anything like that?
No, she had her long-time boyfriend, and then when they broke up and I talked to her in October, she said that she hadn't been talking to anyone, like any interest in anyone or anything. That's what she told me when I was with her in October.
Okay. So in October, when you last talked to her, to your knowledge, she wasn't dating anybody.
She wasn't dating anyone. She wasn't like sleeping with anyone. She wasn't seeing anyone. In October, it was like the week of October 1st. And yeah, she told me that she was not dating anyone. So.
And what about?
I know.
Okay, and then what about?
I can play it. I don't like playing it from YouTube because it lags, I feel like. But maybe it'll be okay if, like, since it's just audio. I'll just go play it from Connor's channel so that I can turn on the captions, because my version's not going to have captions until after this process is through. And they are, I mean, I can hear them, but I also listen to it like a whole lot. So let me go grab it. We'll just watch it from Connor's channel so that I can turn on the captions. I just like having my own like background and pictures and stuff. I don't like copying people's stuff.
No, she had her longtime boyfriend, and then when they broke up.
Can we not get them darker than that? Like, what's happening? Hold on. These captions are like, you can't even see them. Why do they look like that? Okay, let me show you guys this, and you can tell me if you want to watch it this way, because it's like hard to see for some reason. Let's see if is there settings right here. You see how they're like light colored? Why are they like that? There's no option to change the caption. It says to go to settings for, okay, there it is. Visibility and settings for all of my videos. Holy moly. Okay, hold on. Oh. Always show captions. I don't want that clicked on there, but whatever. There's nothing on here to make them brighter. What are you talking about? This is a liar. There is nothing on here to make them brighter. I don't know why they look like that, guys. I'm just going to do it from Connor's channel anyway, even though they're not that bright. And then I'll go smaller so that you guys can hear it. I'll probably have to move it. I don't know where to move it without having to turn this off. I want you guys to be able to hear it because the next girl, this one's not really saying a lot of stuff. It's when Kassidee gets on the phone that she starts talking about the gift from the person thing that Kaylee was telling them about. And that's the important part of this whole thing. And that's what I want y'all to hear. I wish I could go like anywhere with them. Oh my God. Ugh, this is crap. Can y'all even read that? Okay, well, I'm going to leave it like that. All right, let's see if...
Just almost too comfortable that there was no...
In their relationship.
We came out to her dating anyone. She wasn't...
Wait, can y'all hear it okay?
She wasn't seeing anyone. In October, it's like we came out to her first. And yeah, she told me that she was not seeing anyone, so...
And what about...
I know.
So, okay, and then what do you know about in their relationship and friendship?
They loved each other, and it was like they started dating when they were young.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason they broke up is Kaylee just felt like, they've been dating for so long, and she was just almost too comfortable that there was no ill feelings there. It was just like she wanted to grow a little bit, and she find herself on her own.
Okay.
There was no bad beef between her and her. He's a great guy. And Kaylee thought the same.
Okay. And so did you, when you were here in October, did you ever spend time with at all?
When I was in October, they were broken up, and so no, I didn't see. I hung out with Kaylee, and Kaylee told me about I asked her about her if they spoke or anything, and she said that he brought her coffee, and she just kind of was like, we can't keep doing this thing where it's like, they were just comfortable with each other, and they were just in a relationship, and it was hard to get out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, from what.
So he was still, what it sounds like, he was still trying to do caring, generous things for Kaylee after they broke up by bringing her coffee one day. And she was saying that you got to stop doing stuff like this. Like, she didn't want him to even be nice to her anymore, is what it sounds like. So it's interesting that they say that kind of scenario while also saying that there wasn't any animosity or anything about the breakup, because that's not what it sounds like to me. It sounds like he wasn't okay with the breakup and he was trying to figure out a way to stay in her life. That doesn't sound like he was okay with it. The 180s we get about their relationship is just interesting.
I heard they were they cut ties in October. When I was there in October, they had cut ties. They weren't talking any longer.
So when you said that he was bringing her coffee and that she was like, we can't do this anymore, was he still trying to hold on to stuff, or?
No, at first, he just loved her, and it was just hard for him, and so he was bringing her coffee, just being sweet, and they had a dog that they shared during their relationship, and he had the dog, and he would see Murphy, the dog, but no, it wasn't like that. She was just kind of, it's too hard for us to remain friends just because I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nothing back there.
Okay. And did you?
It's too hard for us to remain friends because I love you. On Kaylee's side, to the guy that obviously still wants to be with her that she won't be with, I can imagine how Jack would feel pretty upset and back and forth with that, if that's the case. Like if he was getting told by Kaylee all the time that she loved him, but she didn't want to be with him, and he was still trying to like do things and be around her, I could see why he would be upset. And we do know from the reports. Well, actually, you know what? I'll take that back. What we've been told in the reports is what I'll say, because we don't know what's factual and not at all with the redactions and the bullshit. This is what we've been told in the reports. I think it was like before the time of the crime, Jack Tukor had apparently called into the school and told them that his mental health had been declining and that things were just like not okay. He ended up getting a call back like the next day after sending this information, and there was a conversation had on the phone. Then sometime in May of 2024, there were hearings that we were going back over for, I can't remember the subject, but there was something in the videos from the hearings with like Mallory and stuff. It was had to do with the footage, the 11/12 footage. And as we were going through those reports that match the May 2024 timeline, we came across one from Brett Payne, where it shows that he called what looks to be Jack Tukor and asked him some sort of like follow-up questions about if he had ever gotten any help for like his mental health issue. And just like Jack denies the 17-minute phone call, Jack is denying ever reaching out and needing help with anything like that before the time of the crime. So I don't know if we're ever going to get the truth about that kind of stuff, but that stuff's in the reports and it's questionable. And we also see how apparently in the footage, Jack was doing everything he could to like stay away from her at the corner club and only had one interaction with her, barely in passing. And then that was it. And then she's calling him back to back to back to back to back. And then there's apparently a 17-minute phone call that we've been misinformed about for so long. There's a lot of questions there. And if you consider what we hear here, she considered him like a child. She's still telling him she loves him, but she can't be with him. I could see where the rage would come from with what we see here. Her face was so destroyed that the officers that were walking into the scene had issues trying to figure out what they were looking at, because she was so disfigured that it looked not human anymore, what had been done to her. That doesn't just happen from someone who like has a target that's not you, in my opinion. That's something that's almost emotional, or if not is emotional. Like that's a statement, again, and just in my opinion. So I don't know. And I don't think that little bitty old skinny old Jack could just take out everybody like that, especially somebody like Ethan. But when you consider the damage that was done to Kaylee, how can you not question the one person that you know would actually have maybe that sort of like deep down emotional reaction to her? I just don't know. I just don't know. That's why for like, I know a lot of people, it feels like a double event. I've never really honestly considered a double event, because that's just too strange. That's just too much for me, in my opinion, for it to be some sort of double event. But there's nothing else that like connects these two people that or not two people, but these two sets of people. There's nothing that connects these two sets of people that we've been able to see other than they just happen to live in the same house. And there's just a lot when you especially think about Kaylee, where you're just like, that doesn't really seem like just some psycho. It just doesn't. And again, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion.
You know any of her other roommates?
Not really. I knew Maddie, just because her and Kaylee were best friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of knew Xana, but I didn't know the other two roommates.
And when you came in October, I mean, were there a ton of people that would hang out at that house like all the time?
So I was staying at the house right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like on King Road, like in the backyard.
Yeah.
Where you can see the house. I was staying at that house, and so she came over to that house a lot. I went over there once, and it was like when we were all getting ready for the game day, and there was girls
Oh, okay.
Then I just went to Kaylee's room.
Okay. So nothing that you knew about Maddie or Xana?
No, I really don't know. I didn't know Maddie that well, and I didn't know Xana that well. I was really, really close with Kaylee, like, my senior year. She lived, like, the next apartment down, and we had all of the same classes together and stuff, but yeah, I didn't know Maddie very well or Xana very well.
See, that's another reason I don't like closed captions, because it doesn't catch everything correctly. Like, we know that she just said Xana, but it said Danny in the caption. It's just kind of annoying.
Yeah.
And okay, are you still in contact with
Yeah, I'm actually with her right now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, would you like?
So if you don't like it, then get out. If you don't know why every live ever has a countdown intro, then get off of a platform that you don't know how to use. It's pretty simple.
To talk to her?
Yeah, can I talk to her?
Okay, so this is where it's going to switch. This is where it's going to switch to the girl that talks about the gift from the person. This is Kassidee. So there's no picture here. The initials in the report are incorrect. Kassidee's name actually starts with a K. And Kassidee is actually, I'll just show you the picture of her face real quick on mine before we go back, and then go back to that one. But this is Kassidee. If you look at her social media, there are pictures of these two girls together. So it seems like they've stayed in contact. Okay, so now I'll go back to this one. But that's why Connor doesn't seem to have a picture of her on his, I'm assuming, because the initials on the report are CW, and in reality, the initials should have been KW. So he just didn't really know who to look for. But I only even know that because people in the comments were letting him know, because he was asking. So I went to social media and like found her pictures and stuff like that. So, okay.
Hello?
Hey, this is Detective Vargas with the Moscow Police Department.
Hi.
Hey, so I spoke with your friend today, and she was talking about a time that you guys all had lunch with Kaylee.
Yeah, and like the stalker comment.
Yeah. Can you, I guess, tell me what you remember about that?
No, we've all talked about it, and I seriously can't remember anything, but that she made a little comment about it.
See, and that's another thing that's weird. All of them are like together having the conversation about Kaylee telling them this at this very specific time, at this lunch in September, but none of them can remember any details. All collectively, as they're having the conversation, only remember it being mentioned, but don't remember any details whatsoever. All of them. That's okay.
And like, I don't know if like we were kind of like changing stories, you know, like everybody like weird people texting you kind of type thing is what I think it was. And like, no, I actually was stalker. Like, that's what we remember. And maybe it was like on Facebook Messenger or like something weird like that where he was texting her. But I don't remember like any details, anything other than just a weird memory of her saying something like that.
Yeah, again, I find it really odd that they all just like have a strange, faint memory of it being mentioned at this specific location, at this specific event, but none of them remember details. It's just so weird to me.
Okay.
And I think that the lunch was in September, because I went up to Moscow once in September, and I think that's when it happened.
This last September?
Yeah, this last September.
Okay, but then you don't remember she shared any details about that or said anyone's name in particular?
No, I'm saying she had like a weird memory that like gave her something like a gift or like something weird like that, but I don't remember that part.
Okay.
She remembers enough to mention it, but she doesn't know the details of it. See what I mean? Like, this is so odd.
No, I'm saying she had like a weird memory that like gave her something like a gift or like something weird like that, but I don't remember that part.
Okay.
So somebody else remembers that. the girl that they're going to call afterwards, which I don't know who the other person is.
Didn't share any details about that or said anyone's name in particular.
No, I'm saying she had like a weird memory that like gave her something like a gift or like something weird like that, but I don't remember that part.
Okay.
See, that's crazy.
Yeah, I wish that I could remember more, but
Yeah, and then can you think of anything? Anyone that she had spoken about or was hanging out with, or?
no, just because since we graduated, we just like weren't with her that much, you know, and so like we didn't know like her day-to-day life.
Some people think so.
And so yeah, I don't know if anybody that didn't like her.
I know it's a popular theory.
Like there was nobody that had it out for her that we knew of.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you know her roommates?
No, I knew of Maddie. Well, I knew Maddie because of Kaylee, and then I knew of Xana just for being in the Greek life and stuff.
Okay. Can I get current addresses for both you and?
Yeah, so mine is.
Yeah, that's my point right there. That's crazy.
And I'll give this one back.
Okay.
Can you imagine that? Like being on vacation and everywhere you go, they're just playing the same band over and over and over and over and over. I can imagine how that would make you hate them.
Hello.
Hey, can I get a current address for you?
Back to Jordyn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you mean. But just the simple fact that it's getting to like the small details are getting to, it was in September. It's not the Winco. It's not what Bethany said. And now some sort of like gift or something was given to her by this person. I just really wish that they would have taken it more seriously. I don't know why Kaylee would have downplayed it if it had gotten to the point to where someone was like giving her something. But then again, the family acts like they have no idea about anything either. That's the very first thing that they came out and said, was that they had never been told anything from Kaylee about a stalker. But again, it's like these are like this is like a group of people that were at the exact same event. I just hate that there's not more details to this, because it seems like there's enough details to make you be like, I'm sorry, what? But then not enough to really go off of. The cops would have to dig into, I don't even know. But if this is the reason for like the mail thing, I mean, did the person give it to her like in person? Did they leave it on the steps? Did they leave it on her car? I'm curious of the details.
Okay. And then what's a good phone number for you? I have your number, and then is
Yeah, I can tell you hers.
Is it so?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I saw it. I wrote it down. You're the first one I saw it.
Alrighty. Well, yeah, we're just trying to reach out, to all of our close friends and just see if there's anything, even if it's just the smallest piece of information. Just see anything you can think of. If you do think of anything, definitely contact us and pass it on.
Yeah. Have you talked to,
So now we're bringing in a fourth person.
No. Can I get that person's phone number?
yes, 1 second.
Oh, happy birthday.
Are you ready?
Yeah. And how do you spell her last name? And what's her relation to her? Is she a student here or anything?
Yeah, so she is a student at U of I. She was also like just one of our close friends, and she was a senior this year.
Okay.
And they hung out a lot like this school year, and so she just would have like, just since we didn't live there anymore, she might have more. I've been talking to a lot though, and from what I know, it doesn't sound like she knows a lot. It doesn't have any ideas, but I mean, if you want to reach out.
Okay. Okay, yeah, definitely do that. And then if there's anyone else that you think of, or any other information that you guys come up with or think of, definitely let me know.
Okay, I will.
Okay. Well, thanks for giving me a call back. I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
That's it for that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's for sure. That's why you're never supposed to acknowledge it. You're never supposed to say my stalker or give it any sort of like possession whatsoever. And I see it all the time on like YouTube videos and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just a lot. It's just a lot of details here and there. And this again is like another set of details. It's not the Winco. It's not the Bethany thing. It's different. It's completely different. Now the Winco thing, Xana, from what I can remember from the report, Xana was with her in the car, and I believe Dylan was also in the car. It was either Dylan or Bethany, but one of the other girls was in the car with Kaylee when she got back in the car, and they were like at the Winco thing. And then when it came to the person being outside, when she was outside with Murphy, Bethany is the only person that Kaylee called about that. But then Bethany, like after the whole, like the crime happened, went and told everyone else about the situation. So then it got repeated over and over and over again as third party information, because now Bethany started telling the story everywhere. But that also tells me that after Kaylee called Bethany and only called Bethany, that she never told anyone else either about this person watching her from the tree line or whatever the frick was actually going on, because the story changes with like the game of telephone. But the only person admitting to having direct knowledge and not being told that story is Bethany. So I have to think about that kind of stuff too, because if you're only telling the one person and you haven't said anything else, and like nobody has the exact same story, I don't know. Someone else said something about, is it possible she was just overly aware because she's into true crime? That's very possible. It's very possible that she could just be overly aware. But if it's to the point to where someone is now giving her something and she doesn't know like who the person is or like where it's coming from, then that's that's different than being, oh, I'm overly aware and maybe a little bit too reactive. No, someone's now giving you something and you don't know where it's coming from. And now someone else said, hey, it could have been Jack giving her things, and just not signing them, or, not saying that it was him, to like just pop little surprises and not take responsibility. Because some people will do that kind of stuff to like freak people out. A lot of crime stuff when it comes to exes start like that. Suddenly things are showing up on the hood of her car, on her doorstep, at lunch, whenever she's on a break, she comes back, there's something on her desk. That kind of stuff happens a lot. So I don't know. There's a lot of questions everywhere. But these two, especially the first girl, the one that was supposed to move in with Kaylee, you can tell that she's real upset still. This was just a few days after. The 15th, I think, is what the report says. I believe it's the 15th. So just a few days after. But yeah, she was upset. You can tell she's upset. Well, hey there, Laura. Longtime lurker. I know a lot of people just want to take it in and not get distracted and just listen. I know I'm like that with a lot of channels. I'm a lurker to a lot of channels. Thank you for the gifted membership, Jamie. Thank you. Yes, beautifully broken. I did see it. I wrote it down. Yours was the first one that got my attention in the chat, and then I saw some other people were talking about it too. But yeah, if you have other information, that'd be nice. I mean, I don't think that the girl had anything to do with anything, but I'm still trying to get like all the details in line, because it's interesting that she moved to King Road and had a roommate for just like over the summer, and that's like a one room situation. So I kind of would like to know like when the person moved out and it became just Kaylee, you know what I mean? I'd like to know that kind of thing, especially considering the September thing now with this. I need to go back and look at the mail warrant. But you know what else too, guys? You know what else? I really do like, I can't say I know for sure, but I have a really big feeling that there's a lot of warrants for things that we don't have on the Case of Interest website when it comes to stuff to just like Moscow did. Like, I know that we don't have anything when it comes to like what ISP filed for really and like the feds, but I feel like there's probably like other subpoenas, other search warrants that MPD filed for like other companies that aren't on the public interest website. I'm going to take some just like really good guesstimates and just file a bunch of FOIAs and see what comes back to me, I think. I mean, I'm using context clues to come up with these things. I'm not just like coming up with them out of nothing. So we'll see how that works. I have a little list of things I'm looking at. So we'll see. I might go live later. I might not. I really want to get the big video for Xana and Ethan done today. That's kind of like my big goal. I'll just admit I've been kind of like purposely taking my time with it because I hate these videos. I hate these ones that are real, I guess. I mean, not real, like we know it's all real, but when it's super focused on this specific wound, this specific spot, it forms the picture more. And I mean, it's already sad. It's already sad. It's already horrible. It's already depressing. I say all the time, I don't understand why people make shit up. It's sad and depressing and horrible enough as it is. We don't need the bullshit, right? But when you take it and you shorten it down and you take it away from it being, okay, it's not the house anymore and it's not the 4 people. Now we're focusing specifically, for me in particular, on each individual person when it comes to each specific wound. And it's just like, I know that I can't take what my brain is showing me and put it on the screen. And look, honestly, I'm really thankful for that. But I don't know if a lot of people, I mean, I'm not the only one. I'm not freaking special, but I don't know how many people form pictures in their minds when they read details or things like that. I know some people don't have like an inner monologue, and I know everyone's brain works differently. I know a mass majority of people can put like, motion to things and kind of like put it all together in their mind as they're hearing it, as they're reading it. As I'm putting all these things together very specifically, I don't like what my brain tells me and what it's like showing me. It's horrible because I've seen all the pictures real in depth, and I can make a 3D picture in my head of what it looked like with them laying there. Every cut, like I can picture it, and it's disgusting. So I'm purposely taking my time and finding distractions in between because it's hard. I hate it. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I super hate it. That's another reason why I've been talking about the Nancy Guthrie situation. It's kind of like a distraction. It's interesting. I'm invested. This is what in the hell is happening? Why is this getting so much attention? Why does this shit not make any sense? But I'm definitely using it as a distraction. I'll be honest. I got Kaylee and Maddie's done really, really quickly. And did y'all not notice how like quiet I got after that? Like it's hard to sit back and like piece it together. So much in your head, and it just like it sits there. It sucks. It super sucks. But the goal is to get it finished, like if not completely finished tonight, this weekend it'll be done and it'll premiere tomorrow night for sure. I just have like some of the blood spatter stuff left to do, and I'm being as detailed as I possibly can. Like the little bodies with like where the injuries are pointed out. Like I'm making all of those. I'm going in and I'm finding as much detail to make it as understandable as possible to everyone. Y'all saw the last one. And I feel like I rushed through that one. I should have taken more breaks on that one. Maybe I wouldn't have been so quiet after it came out, but I had to, like, damn. I hate this case. I hate this case so much. If Kohberger is the guy, if he came out and did an interview and gave us details, then I wouldn't question his guilt. But because we have all of these crazy, insane things that happened on top of no evidence, no answers, nothing that actually puts him there. The car wasn't even actually what they're telling us they were looking for. Everything seems reverse engineered. Nothing has any work behind it. The FBI is shady as shit. They're not giving over any of their work. They deleted their work. No one wants to tell the truth. Everyone's narrative is changing. How can you look away? Like the details in this thing, you cannot, I don't give a shit how many awards any writer ever won for anything that was ever written, be it movie, be it a song, be it a book. No one could write something this screwed up. No one could. And it's everything. It's not just one person's story. It's not just one little piece of evidence looks a little bit odd. It's everything. And it's not being made up. the facts are there and show that it's everything, even after the change of venue, even after another court takes over. More prosecutors come in. Oh, now here comes this leak. And oh, now we're not getting any more information. And now here comes the family telling tales again. And now we have to sort through all the crazy shit to try to get back to the facts and the bones of the damn case. I hate this case. Damn. I hate this case. I hate this case. Yeah, usually as soon as you see the feds are involved, you're like, okay, time to question everything. It's just so much. And then on top of that, something that Steve said the other day, which is another side quest we have to freaking go on now. He said that the cops at the band field shouldn't have been at the band field when they were at the band field. They should have been up at 11:22, which pushes the timeline back to what? The original 3 to 4 a.m. Why is he coming out and saying something like that? He knows people are going to question that because that's the original timeline that the cops gave us. And then again, Steve says shit all the time that he doesn't have any proof with, that he has nothing to back up. So I don't know what to think about anything he says anymore. Like, is it a clue? Does he know something, or is he just being an asshole? I don't know. I don't know. But I hate this case. I hate this case and all the questions about it, and no answers is wild. And there's no answers because there's no answers. Kohberger can't answer anything because he doesn't know. Even in this like 2-person theory thing, like I still don't see it. Even if somehow he was able to put all this together with a whole nother person, there's just no way that there's like just one little of DNA somewhere where there's multiple other DNA and nothing else was tested. And we've gone 3 years, and at this point, nothing's come out, nothing's been stated, nothing else has been tested. What are you doing? The one person that was your lead suspect was Jack DeCour, and there's no connection between Jack DeCour and Bryan Kohberger. So what are we supposed to think? And what's the excuse? What's the excuse we got from the state? Some Fed 2 weeks into the case said not to ask whoever we ended up arresting because it wouldn't make sense to us. So there was just no point in even bothering. In what reality? In what reality, guys? In what reality? Oh my God. That's why even listening to interviews like this, where it's people that weren't at the crime scene and weren't even in the area at the time, are important because we don't know about this stalker situation. The cops might have not even taken that seriously because the feds told them what to do every step of the way. As soon as they got that phone call on 12/19, they didn't care about anything else. They never even cleared the lead suspect. They just took off with whatever the feds told them and never bothered going back. Came out telling everyone people were cleared. Nobody was cleared. MPD never actually cleared, in my opinion, anyone. The feds just told them what to do. They shelved everything else. They shelved the unknown DNA. Nothing else was tested further. What kind of investigation is that? You have 4 people dead in a house and you just stop right there? You just stop right there? That doesn't make any damn sense. What is this? Thank you for the $9.99, Amanda. Christy stated in an interview, Kay called her and thought she was being followed by a car. Steve talking about Kay's apartment was broken into, hiding under the bed. He told her to jump out the window. What? When was that? Anybody know when that interview was? She been asleep the whole time. Look, she ain't moved once. It must be nice. Yeah, I don't remember anything about an apartment being broken into. I do remember there was like one time I think Kaylee ended up FaceTiming somebody and thinking somebody was following her, but then it turned out it wasn't. I remember one story one time about that coming from them. I don't remember anything about jump out the window from what? Yeah, if you can find it, let me have it. But you know what? I'll tell you all now. And this is in the police report. So if you want to double check this, it's all over the internet. People have reported on it. When Olivia went to jail for that DV situation a couple years back, in the report, it says that Christy told her not to call the police. Like the cops have that in the police report. So hearing that there's maybe a story out there of something possibly happening and Steve telling her to like jump out and run and not call the cops, it wouldn't shock me, but I've not personally seen it, so I'd like to see it if it's true. So yeah. Patterns are important. Patterns are super important. That's why, like, when people are talking shit about the Kohbergers, when his sister said that if they would have thought it was him, they would have called the cops. I believe it, because they called the cops on him before for a phone. You think they wouldn't call the cops on him for murder? Yeah, they would. What? It's the behaviors are so important. Yeah, exactly. But Bryan's parents are the problem. It's the behaviors. Behavior patterns. They've proven that they would. The Goncalveses have proven that they wouldn't. It's really just wild. Yeah, I mean, it's out there. I have the report. It was sent to me a super long time ago. I've had the report for a long time. It's out there. People have covered it and read the whole thing. But yeah, that's the whole situation with her arrest gives me pause, because I have like theories and ideas about why she behaved, or maybe shall I say reacted the way that she reacted that day. I feel like maybe she was a little bit too intoxicated, and the behaviors that she saw her husband doing, which was simple, and what she told him to do, put the kids to bed, it's late. The argument they got into, and then her seeing him crawl into the bed with their daughter, which is what you do with the baby, a toddler, when you're trying to put the kid to bed, triggered her to attack him. I find that odd. Unless you've got some sort of trauma, that wouldn't have been your direct response in an argument, drunk. The man doing what you're telling him to do, meaning put the kids to bed, he's doing it the way that people should whenever it's a little kid like that. It just seems to me like something triggered her. And I don't know their history. I don't know their family history, and I'm not trying to sit there and point fingers and say that kind of stuff, because that's where you start getting in trouble. But I can say, from somebody who has had PTSD triggers, who has had PTSD reactions, who have witnessed people have PTSD reactions, that sounds like a PTSD reaction. And it sounds like whatever the scuffle was that caused that trigger, that's what she went to jail for, because she attacked him first. So I don't know, but that's just my opinion on a very vague subject. That is my opinion on a very vague subject. Yeah, I don't want to go too into the details, because I don't know. Exactly. It just sounds like a trauma response to me, but I don't know where that trauma could have come from. I don't know if it's even real, or if maybe she was just too intoxicated and that's just what happened. But to me, it sounds like a trauma response. And yes, them never not going to Moscow will always bother me. And if you consider the fact that they not only did not go to Moscow, they did not go to Moscow after getting a phone call from a direct family member, which was Christy Goncalves' niece. She said her name. I think they said her name was Sabrina. They've said it 1,000 times in interviews. But they also, for the very first time ever, had to go to an urgent care in the wee early morning hours for the first time in their entire relationship, because Steve Goncalves suddenly had this I can't remember the damn name of it ever to save my life. I want to say Ramsey Hunt. That might not be right, but it's something that's triggered by can be triggered by mass stress that causes a rash, a very painful rash to spread all over your face. And for the first time, according to Christy's own words, we've all heard it, we have clips of it, said they had to go to the urgent care that morning. Probably, if you think about it, what do you think about whenever you think about early in the morning? You're not thinking about 8 o'clock. You're thinking about midnight, in the middle of the night. So to me, it almost sounds like around the same time the shit was going on in Moscow, he's over at some urgent care with some stress-induced rash on his face. Then they don't go to the freaking scene. They stay and they wait for the cops to come knock on their door. They're getting phone calls from strangers and people that know their kid alike. They're minor children are getting face calls from people in the neighborhood. They're seeing their daughter's house on the news and nobody leaves. There are several adults in the home and nobody leaves. That's always going to be suspicious to me. I also don't know the first time that Steve came on camera, or how long something like that takes to actually go away. I know that it was not very long after, but I don't know the dates off the top of my head. I just find those things interesting. Because how are you getting bombarded with phone calls and you don't go? You've got all these adults in the house. Even one of your minor children even has a child, proving they can obviously babysit. So what are you not leaving the house for? That's never sat right with me ever. And then we have to look even further into that. Okay, Jack Decor is at the scene. Christy and Steve are telling us all this time that they're calling Jack Decor's phone too, and he's not answering. He was in the back of the cop car with his cell phone with him for however long we see it happening in the body cams, and he doesn't answer the phone or call them. I find that strange. For someone who was just temporarily broken up with and they were going to get married anyway, I find that strange. I don't know. Those are just things that I think about. Yes. Oh, is she waking up finally? Yes, I did. Just the simple fact that Ashley Banfield is Jeffrey Epstein's type tells me everything about why I've never liked that woman. No, not even a cousin. Her niece, her blood niece called her first. Called her phone directly. Crazy shit. Crazy shit. Thank you for being here for so long, Moonvale. Thank you for being here for so long. But see, they didn't. They didn't say anything about that urgent care visit for like well over a year. And I don't even think she was supposed to say it. I think that it was something they kept quiet for a reason. But then in an interview, she says it, and she's like, first time in our entire relationship, the whole time I've known him, he's never been sick. And then that morning, and I'm just like, I'm sorry? Everyone's mind was blown. Everyone's mind was blown. Has there been anything else going on with it? I'll have to look at Odyssey and Pacer and that other portal today and see if there's been any updates. Last thing I saw is that it was supposed to be going to Fed court, which I don't like because the feds have handled this case from the beginning, which is why everything is shady and has no work that we can look at and double check. So it going into Fed court, I just don't know. I don't know. I need to look and see if there's anything else going on though. Oh, welcome back, Sarah. Welcome back. Welcome back. I think I missed that. I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff always going on. Oh, God. No way, bro. For the Lifetime movie, I haven't even thought of that damn thing in so long. For real. Oh God. Okay, well, let me look at the Lifetime movie thing real quick. What are they running their mouths about now? Oh, this is just them doing a photo collage. I can only see whatever, like the way that I have to view it, because they finally blocked me after I told them to block me and keep me blocked this time, is through the whatever private window or whatever without logging in. And I can only see like the last thing that they posted, and all they did was post like a collage of photos of the kids. I don't see a statement unless there's something else from before that. Oh no, wait, hold on. It's loading. Yeah, I don't see a statement being made. They're just going through Kaylee's stuff and talk about the Corner Club stuff. I didn't see anything being said in way of a statement unless it's somewhere else. Why are they posting like mail packages? See, that's another thing. They're posting mail packages and slips with addresses and stuff on it. Like, why are you entertaining all that stuff? They're just so wackadoodle, bro. I don't even know what to think anymore. About the patient first statement, I didn't see anything on there about that. If somebody has a screenshot, they can send it to me. I haven't seen that. Anybody know if they're going to ever actually go live? Yeah. Yeah, I don't have an issue with Jim. I have an issue with Stacy. Stacy's, I don't know. I mean, if they're hiding something, which I feel like they're hiding something, and there's a reason why they're like trying to erase Ethan's story, I have a problem with both of them. But when it comes to who seems to be more genuine and who seems to be more soft, it's definitely Jim. I just know that Stacy's done everything she could to try to lock this story down. It doesn't help. It doesn't help that we hear things like they spent the night at the frat house, shut it down, didn't let anyone leave, had everyone put their phones up. And that's like stories that they're telling. That's stories that they're telling. So that's weird to me. It's just weird. It's very, 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 very strange. Renee Russo, you think so? She acted in a while? Is she alive? I haven't heard that name in a while. Yeah. She's my dad's age. They were both born in 54. Yeah, I haven't seen her do anything in a while. I could see that though. I could see her playing her. Yeah, and that's the only thing that I think is like their problem. And see, like I posted something on Twitter and it went viral, and a bunch of idiots like Jay for Justice got their panties all in a twist about it because they don't have any comprehension skills at all. And I said how the reason why the Chapins have done all this to try to like erase things when it comes to Ethan is because what he was doing is an embarrassment to them. That doesn't mean that I think he's an embarrassment. I'm giving a point of view of how I see this family behaving with the facts that we have. And the facts are he was doing things that little Miss Shiny alumni would not have approved of. I mean, they were in college. They're all going to do things that nobody would really be okay with. It doesn't make him any less important. It doesn't mean they have to be twins now instead of triplets. I find the way that they're behaving about it absolutely appallingly disgusting. I'm here for Ethan's truth. The way that his family is handling that is disgusting. And people should be pissed off at the Chapins for wanting to erase Ethan from this entire thing and not wanting to tell his true truth. Simply because he might have been doing something that they didn't approve of. That's the only reason why they're doing this. They didn't want this information to come out. That's why they're kissing Othram's ass when Othram didn't do shit. Come on. The Chapins don't want this drug thing to be what is the main focus of what happened here. And if it has nothing to do with anything, then cool. But why are you going to sit back and be okay with you being twins now instead of triplets? Oh, and we're just going to move forward and I'm just going to throw those kids right back in that exact same school and not give a shit about anything. You're trying to make a statement. You're trying to shine up your face because Ethan put a little bit of tarnish on you. So what? You're the parent. You're not supposed to come out here and act the way you're acting about it. And everything about their behavior, I don't give a shit that she sits there and smiles about the boy in blue and oh my God, Ethan lit up a room. Your behaviors are telling me that you don't approve. The way that you have contacted the school, instantly got a hold of the dean, made a presence, locked down the fraternity. You've been out here with this narrative. Guys, we read Brett Payne's like original living document when the reports dropped. There is so much more information about Ethan in that thing. And then what happened when the PCA came out? One sentence. One sentence. They've done everything they could to erase him. I was just making an observation based on their behavior. It doesn't mean that I believe what I'm seeing that they must feel like. I'm making an observation, and people with comprehension skills got all kind of stupid over that. Prove me I'm wrong. Tell me their behaviors. Don't tell me they're ashamed for no reason. For no reason. For no reason. These are rich, affluential people who need to make sure that they don't have a single speck on their faces and on their reputation. That's why the victim stories are the only things that matter here. It doesn't matter what is being said and what is being done by people that are left behind to pick up whatever needs to be picked up. They can hide the truth because they're the ones who have to now live with whatever happens after the fact. Of course, they're not going to want the truth out there. They don't want to look a certain type of way, while in the meantime, looking a certain type of way to people that are paying attention to facts. Which also goes back to what the Goncalveses said. What did the Goncalveses say? What did they say? There was going to be all kinds of stuff dug up about them, all kinds of mud, all kinds of dirt, all kinds of bad things. What does that got to do with your kid? Unless it has something to do with what happened here. What does it matter what you look like? If it means the truth for your child coming out and the real people that are responsible being the ones who actually go to jail, then who gives a shit what you look like at the end of the day? That's how a real parent acts. I have problems with the way things are being handled. I'm vocal about it. I don't give a shit. Sorry, not sorry. I can feel bad for the parents who have lost their child, knowing that's a pain that you will never be able to ever overcome, while still not being okay with the way that you're handling it, because you're not doing your kid any justice or service. Lying, erasing them from the story, none of that is cute. Those are self-preservation tactics for the people that are still here. What is that doing for the people who don't have a voice anymore? Can we just get to their truth? Can we get to a timeline that we're not being lied to about? Can we get facts? Can we not erase people from what happened? The fact that they're going by twins now instead of triplets will always and forever bother me. And the story that they're giving about it is bullshit. Have y'all heard the DMV story? They're adults. They wouldn't even show up on each other's things. And why would some random person ask that if Ethan's been dead for like years now at this point? Wouldn't he show up as deceased in the system? Nothing that they said about that made any sense. It was something that they created to try to like give an excuse for erasing Ethan while they keep him in the basement. Those are their words. I don't give a shit what people want to assume things are. Those are their words. I can have issues with those words. I'm allowed that. It's public. I can have issues with what's public. That's just what it is. Okay, rant over. No, we're doing it. That's the video that I'm in the middle of doing. His freaking Xana's is 12 nanograms per milliliter, which is under therapeutic levels. And I have in the video that I'm putting together, the one that I'm working on right now, like an example of all the levels and the type of milligram pills she would have had to have taken and blah, 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 whatever. Ethan's are like over 20 times her amount. It's like 260 nanograms per milliliter. And I don't know exactly what it's going to tell me when I run that information, but I know that being at 20 times the amount is that's a lot. That's 20 times more than Xana. Yeah. Like exactly 20 times would be 240. His levels were 260. I don't know what that means, but that's a lot. No, it's not lower. I was looking at it today. I had it in my face all day this morning. I was editing everything. Hers was 12 nanograms per milliliters, and his was 260. $260 are generally below legal testing limits. That's crazy. Yeah, his alcohol content was around the same as Kaylee's. It's like 0.122, 0.122 or something like that. No, I know. I'm getting the information off of websites that are telling me about it. I'm not comparing the amphetamine to the BAC. But we know that he was sitting up because the report also says that he was like up on his right elbow. So regardless, like he was awake. I don't see how he would have even been trying to go to sleep if it's really that high. But then again, I haven't done like the run through. I just know like no, I know it's a different formula. I'm looking at the stuff online about it. Lower than the number is higher therapeutic. It said that for the 12 nanograms that it would have only been like some sort of like low dose pill. It gave me examples on like the type of pills because I asked it specifically about Adderall. That's where like my stuff is. I'm asking specifically about Adderall and the amount the amounts in the system when it comes to Adderall specifically. And it's giving me different information for extended release and for the other one. So we'll see what it tells me when I run the other information. So I don't know. We'll see what it says. See, and that's what I was wondering. That's actually something I think I actually say. I wonder if Xana was on a prescription and maybe like her levels were the way that they were because she was on a prescription pill that she would take daily. And maybe his were like that because he wasn't on, like he was the one using it recreationally. That's my question. Yeah, they're blue. So I don't know. I just know what I'm looking at now. I haven't even gotten to the edit for that part. I just know what it told me for Xana's. I don't know what it's going to tell me for the levels when it comes to Ethan's. I just know the number's bigger. And some people are saying the bigger the number means the lower the level on that. That's kind of like weird if that's true. That's kind of like the opposite of anything normal, but you know what? Who knows? I don't know anything about drugs. I don't know anything about drugs whatsoever. If like I know some stuff about like the plant stuff, that's about it. I don't know anything about the pill stuff. I don't know anything about the stuff that you put in your arm. I don't know anything about that shit. I know like what I've heard people talk about. I don't know anything about this stuff. The higher the number, the higher the urine dilution. Do we know that they actually did a urine test for it, or was it blood tested? Because it doesn't say that in the blood spatter report, as far as I know. Do we know for a fact that it was urine? Zatrish, all it says is that his amphetamine level is 260 nanograms per milliliter. That's all it says. I can pull it up real quick. That's all it says, though. I'll even pull it up on my editor so you guys can sort of see how I've been doing stuff. Like hers was 12 and his was 260. Okay, so that's okay. See, I don't know that kind of stuff. So that whenever you see that, that means that it's a urine formula. See, I didn't know that. That's interesting. I did not know that. So what does it mean when it comes to, oh, well, okay, well, they said it can also be blood. See, that's why I just don't know. That's why I always just try to like figure it out as I'm editing through. I just don't know. Okay, so here is, I'll just show you on my screen from my editor because it's on the page. So yeah, it says right here, his was 260 nanograms per milliliter for the amphetamine. Yeah, the only thing I know about is my blood pressure pill. Like I know about my daughter's medications and I know about my blood pressure pill. That's it. Yeah. See, that doesn't make sense to me. I'm going to have to, like, I know what you're trying to tell me, but a higher number meaning something's more diluted is odd. I don't know anything about that kind of stuff. I have to, that's why I try to look at it and like learn about it as I go. Because that sounds opposite. I don't know anything about that kind of stuff. How do you know about that kind of stuff? Can I ask? Or did you just like look it up? Because I mean, you can learn just as much online. I don't know. I'd like an expert, that somebody who does this stuff to like explain it. Them, because see, even the person putting this in here is a blood spatter expert. So even they don't, have that kind of stuff. Yeah, because this is really like my question. Because to me, it would be a yeah. Let's see. Can nanogram per millimeter Testing the blood. Yes. Nanogram per milliliter testing can be done on blood. And this is a unit of measure commonly used to quantify the concentration of substances such as drugs in the bloodstream. So it could have been blood or urine. We just don't know which one they used. Okay, so the question is, if someone's amphetamine levels are 260 nanograms per milliliter, is that higher or lower than someone's amphetamine level that's only 12 nanograms per milliliter? Because to me, a layperson who's not medical like that, it would tell me it's a higher concentration. See, that's what I'm understanding. That's what I'm understanding when I sort of just like ask generic questions. It's telling me that it's like harmful. Right. I mean, okay, but can you explain why 260 would be more diluted than 12? Because that's crazy, right? Like, I'm just confused. See? And like, I know that he's bigger, but that also makes it more concerning. Yeah. Right. Right. Toxic. That's what I figured. Yeah. See, that's why, because I don't know. Yeah, his alcohol level is the same as almost the same as Kaylee's. And notice also something I make a point of, he's the biggest person in the house, least amount of wounds. Xana's the smallest person in the house, most amount of wounds. Wild as shit. Yeah, see, that's where I was coming from. See, I wish we knew for sure. And see, that's the problem, is that we're getting reports that are just like reiterations of what people are getting from the autopsy reports, and we haven't seen the real autopsy report, because the autopsy report would say that. Like Kylie Rodney's, it showed us. It told us exactly like where and what they were using to test for her levels of stuff. Mm-hmm. If you, this is how I'm understanding it. If you don't need ADHD medications, I know people back in high school that would like buy them from people to help them lose weight and stay awake and like hyper. Okay, so if you have ADHD, it's supposed to like calm your brain down so that you can concentrate like calmer, is how I'm understanding it. My kids were on like Vyvanse and stupid shit like that, like way back a long time ago, before I took them off of every damn thing ever, because they were crazy with it back then. We're trying to just make them take all kind of stupid shit. And now my son has like side effects from taking stuff. So we try to just stay away from everything as much as possible, minus what Ariel needs to like live. You know what I mean? But when it comes to this kind of stuff, this is how I'm understanding it from how they behaved. If you need it, it calms you down to where you're not so hyperactive, your brain slows down so that you can focus instead of being all over the place. If you don't need it and you take it, it kind of makes you a meth head. As far as I understand, like it got the same like base ingredients, and your body goes through the same kind of withdrawals as somebody who does that. And it can, I mean, it's an addiction. You lose weight, you start to like not eat at all, you are over focusing, you're a little everywhere, your skits out, you get paranoid. Like it can be a problem, a huge problem. And you take more and more and more and more, just like everything else. I've seen it. I mean, people in high school back in Louisiana were on it. People that were in sports were on it. It was bad. And they would just buy them off people. It was horrible. I've seen it a lot. So like caffeine, if you don't really need it and you drink a bunch of caffeine, well, actually, I think it's like an ADHD thing. Like caffeine supposedly like calms people down that have ADHD. So they used to tell me before they put the kids on medication to give them Mountain Dew. So sometimes they would get like a little bit of Mountain Dew and they would kind of calm down for like a couple hours. It was really weird. But we've never been big soda people. So then we were trying to find like alternative things. And like melatonin, we just didn't really want to deal with that too much because no, it's just a little bit much. We went through a whole bunch of different things trying to find different things just to end up just naturally trying to figure it out at the end of the day because it was just too much. Just way too much. And now people were mentioning like the lace stuff. You have to be so careful. Like I could never be somebody who's just like out there willy-nilly buying from just random people constantly, not knowing what's happening. Because it could be so laced. So laced. The first time could be your only and last time. With simple shit these days. That's all you hear, especially with like teenagers. And it's bad everywhere. It's not just like one location has it bad and everybody else doesn't know anything about any of it and they're also innocent. No, it's everywhere. Every state, every town, every city. I can drink coffee all day and still take a damn nap. I can drink, when I go into town, I like to go to Sonic and I get their recharger. That's like, it's the only time I drink Red Bull, because I think Red Bull is freaking disgusting. But I'll get that one because it has like a dragon fruit flavor, and I'll do the Make It Dirty where they put coconut and lime in it because it's freaking delicious. But I'll get one of those, do my errands, come back and take a nap. Like it does not, nothing keeps me like energized. Literally nothing. Strong coffee for bed. See, I've also been having to drink like black coffee, heavy coffee since I was little because I grew up in a countryish town that was way more country than it is now. And I had an old ass doctor who was like 80 when I was 5. So he told my parents to treat my asthma to have me drink strong black coffee because it would open up my airways like a steroid would in a nebulizer. So I've been drinking coffee since I was like 4 or 5 years old. Doctor's orders. Probably why it wasn't doing anything for me anymore. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. I'm going to look into the differences of all that. I really wish we knew for sure if it was urine or blood testing because it might make a difference, and I'll look that up. I didn't know that there could be a difference. I just figured that it would like test all out the same, but I guess it wouldn't. But I'll look at the differences between blood and urine testing. I just wish we knew for sure which one they were using. I haven't seen anything to say it. Again, if they would actually like release the official autopsy reports, we would know. And they released Kylie's, she's a minor, and they didn't want to release a lot of the police paperwork, but they released her actual autopsy. And these are full grown adults and they don't want to release the autopsy reports. I don't really quite understand that. Each state has different rules though. Each state has different rules. All right, guys. Oh, thank you for the $3 super sticker. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you for those of you who joined and gifted memberships and for the super stickers and the super chats. I appreciate it very, very much. I'm going to be doing a bunch of heavy editing today, trying to get a lot of that done. And again, hopefully tomorrow at the latest, the Ethan and Xana one is out. But now that I have some more research to do on that, it might, I mean, it's going to take me longer today, but at the end of the day, tomorrow should be the last day. I'm really trying to get it done. I could just get it over with, then I wouldn't have to feel like I have to take a break from it. So I'm just gonna push through it. I think it'll be okay. You guys go have a great afternoon. If I go live tonight, it'll be because I've done a bunch of editing and I need to take a break, but I probably won't go live tonight. We will go live tomorrow though, because I want to go at least live once a day, regardless of the editing shit that I'm doing, because we still have body cams and stuff that we need to go over. And I have it set on the schedule for us to go through all of Gunderson's body cam. And I'd like to do that tomorrow morning. Maybe not like early morning. Maybe not early morning. I don't know the average time that you guys are really like online on Sundays and like actually online. Cause like my backend analytics will tell me that it's like 1 p.m., but I don't really know if that's true. I don't really know if that's true. I will set up the time. I will set up the live today so that you guys can go ahead and put your notification bells on. I noticed when I was going through and grabbing what I needed from Connor's channel for how I put everything in and like do my own thing to it, they're a little bit out of order. When it comes to the timing, I didn't notice this before. So there's Gunderson 4, there's 4 pieces. But Gunderson 3 is actually the 4th one, because the in between where he's going around at the apartments and doing like a canvas, the timing actually makes that one the 3rd one. So I'll have them all in order, and I'll have them sectioned out for how Connor had them sectioned out. Like there'll be something that says, you know, this is part 1, and then whenever part 2 starts, so that it's all in order. But it'll be between 1 and 3:30. What? Oh, the Super Bowl is tomorrow. When is that? Because I'm not watching that poop. I don't watch football. I mean, I get why people like football. I've never been a sports person. So I guess I'm just going to do it whenever. What time Central does the Super Bowl start? Because, I mean, I'm not watching. I don't give a damn about football or anything that's happening during this stupid halftime show. I just want to know how many of my people aren't going to be on. I've never been a football person. I don't like Whataburger either. I'm not your typical millennial or your typical Texas girl, so don't be shocked. 6:30 Central Time. Oh, no, we're not going to be doing it. Not doing it that late. Okay, hold on a minute, guys. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't really care for football. 6:30-ish. It'll be earlier than that. I don't want to do anything. No, I'm not. Like I would go to my cousin's football games, and I was in yearbook in high school, so I would go to like the practices and I would go to the games for that, but not because I wanted to be there to watch the game. I was just there to socialize because I actually liked being around people back in high school. But that's about it. Yeah, I just don't really, I'm not a sports person. I'll play video games, but I'm not a sports person. No, it'll be earlier though. Not like hella early because it is a Sunday. It's probably like 2.5 hours, 2 hours long. It'll be sometime, but let's just say now I'll set the live to start at 1:45 the same way that today's did. Is that gonna work? 1:45 tomorrow, we'll go live to review Gunderson. And we also have, look, I have a whole list. I wrote this today. 5:30 Central. I know I'm going to actually go listen to some Three Doors Down whenever I get off of here. We still need to go through Warner's. And that one doing Warner's is actually like where I stopped trying to do the body cam stuff. Not really like tried to stop, but like it got harder to do it because there's so much of Warner's where nothing's happening. He's just standing there and there's like a bunch of body noises and it's just gross. So I went in and I like sped up where there's nobody talking and nobody walking around, and like muted where he's like making all these breathing noises everywhere. And that's why it took forever for Warner's. And there's still like 20 minutes of that I need to finish. And then like, that's where I pretty much just got stuck. That just took a long time, but I promised I would do it that way. So I was trying to finish it up, and I'm going to finish it up, and that's how we're going to watch that one. But I'm not going to do that with the rest of them unless there's like massive amounts of time where people aren't doing anything. But I still would like to go through the lobby footage just to see how people were behaving, who was talking to who, if anybody. I mean, I know people are, like, their faces and stuff are blurred, but it'll still be interesting to go in and watch the behaviors. We still need to go through Corbin's body cam. Officer House's body cam. I already have his stuff all put together chronologically, and then Rosinski's. See, I have like a list. So even with me editing other things and getting other things out, we need to go live at least once a day to do this. I probably need to just go ahead and set all of those up. But during the week, I can't go live till 3:45. So we'll see. That's what's always been a headache, trying to figure out the times for everything. Okay, I'm going to get off of here. You guys have a great afternoon, evening, all the things. I'm going to go listen to some Three Doors Down. I'll clip some of this stuff out this video later, but I'm definitely going to go listen to some Three Doors Down and do some editing with them playing in the background. You guys have a super, super great night. Thank you so much for jumping in here. I ranted and raved about all kind of random stuff today. I will definitely be going in. Ooh. Melatonin makes me feel gross. I don't either. Patriots and the Seahawks. There you go. I have no idea. I want to start taking that magnesium that helps you sleep, but I heard it gives you like really vivid dreams, and I don't want to have vivid dreams. I don't like dreaming at all. I don't like dreaming at all. Okay, so you want the truth? I wasn't even going to show y'all this, but you know what? I'll show this to you guys. Y'all know that I was trying to dye my hair right. Like, it's obvious. I'm going to have to figure out something. I'm going to have to figure out something else. People who are done only here for true crime can go now. This is about to be about hair for about 5 minutes. Okay, so you guys knew that I was dyeing my hair. I showed you guys like my purple and my blue boxes on my other channel, and I was like, oh, I'm going to fix my hair. I'm going to figure it out. All right, no. Obviously, like, I have more dead hair than I thought because, like, I also cut it, by the way. Like, it was here, and I cut it earlier today. So I chopped off, like, that much of my hair because it's all, like, dead. It's all dead. Let me turn on this light real quick so that I can, like, show you what my roots look like with the light on, because my roots are the only thing that took. Hopefully the camera doesn't move. Okay, my roots are the only thing that took with my hair, guys. Watch this shit. Are you ready? Are you ready to see some bright blue crazy shit? You ready? Bam! Look how bright that shit is. Look how bright that is. This is what my hair should have looked like all the way around. But because my hair is like pretty much dead, which is why I cut a bunch of it out, it didn't hardly take. Like, look. This was that blue box. Look at this. Because my hair is so much like dead down here. So it hardly took. So my hair should have all looked like this. That's why it looks darker, because I did that this morning. I had done an eraser to get the black out. I've never actually ever had this problem. I've never had hair color not take. I've never had hair color not take. I'm just assuming now that this is just like too dead for life. See, it didn't take down here. I know, me too. I wanted my whole head like that. Look at that shit. But that was also supposed to be purple. It wasn't supposed to be a big old bright blue like that. See, look, it stained me right here too. I also cut my hair today. See how bright that is, bro? I would have loved the whole damn thing. No, because this was one of the ones where you put it in and then you put equal parts developer, and I use 30 volume. I usually use 40, but I try not to, kill my hair too much. Yeah, it's thick, but I only look like my whole head is shaved, guys. Like, I really have like hella thick hair with like hardly no hair. Like a really thick hair with hardly no hair. That's why I do that. I live in Texas. In the summer, I die. with a whole head of hair. Now, have I been thinking about growing it out so I can redo the way that my sides are shaved? Yeah. I've thought about, I was actually thinking about it this morning. I was like, I'm going to get some purple and blue, like a purple and blue, like a, something I can like put in my hat to where I just always have like this purple or blue like ponytail while I keep a hat on, and so I can grow this out and like reshape, because I feel like it's gotten like a lot higher and I don't really like that, but I'd like to like reshape the way that it's shaved, because there's no way that I could ever have a full head of hair. I would die. I would like, I sweat already like pre-menopause. There's just no way. I could never with a whole head of hair, bro. There's just no way. I could never. But that's what I've been hiding from y'all. That's why I've been wearing a hat for like 2 weeks, because I bleached it. I mean, I did the color eraser and it didn't really do too much to this up here, but it was kind of like an orangish. And then I put the bleach in, and then this was like, you know, a bright yellowish color because I wasn't putting toner in. And then like this, and I was like, I'm just going to wear a hat forever. F it. I'm just going to always wear it. But I don't know. It's too dead. And I know that like once your hair, your everything is dead, like it doesn't soak up the color. And I also did like I waited a week in between to give my hair time to like calm down, but I've never had color like not take like that. I have never had color not take. And this is the same brand I've used for like years. Now it was on sale. So maybe it was on sale because it was like expired. I will say this. When I smelt this stuff this morning, I did wonder what was wrong with it, because I've never, and again, I've used the same, I think it's Clairol 30 volume developer that I get from Sally's, everything I get from Sally's. And this exact same, I think it's called Ion color, again, for years. I have never had it assault my senses the way that it did this morning. My eyes were watering from the fume, like coming from the dye with the developer. And I've never had that happen. If anything, I have always said how like fragrantly fruity this brand's like color actually always smells. So now I'm wondering if it was expired and something was wrong with it, because I've never had color not take. And I know that I had dead hair, and I cut it after, by the way, because I know that you're not supposed to color after you cut, because it won't soak in. I cut it after because I realized how much of it didn't soak in and how much of it was dead. So I chopped it after the fact. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm going to check the batch number, because I've never, I had tears coming out of my eyes on like the first section I was doing. I've never had it ever do that. Never. Not even perm solution has ever been that deep into my nostrils. Not even the bleach was doing that. And this was just a color. So maybe something was wrong with it. I don't even know. No, I know you can color your hair without bleaching, but I wanted to get it away from the black so that the color would show as much as possible. I've been doing my own hair since like high school, because my mom's a beautician, and so I grew up in it, and I've always been taught how to do all the things, so I'm just always doing it all myself. Oh yeah, she's just not giving a damn. She'll sleep there all day. Yeah, I really like Ion, but I feel like something was wrong with this one. Manic Panic washes out really fast in my hair for some reason. Yeah, I'm going to check the expiration date. I should have looked at it whenever I was doing it, but I didn't think about it because I was just trying to get the color of my hair. Something was wrong with it. I've never had one of them smell like that. It's always been really fragrant, like fruity-ish to me. Florally fruity, if that makes any sense. But yeah, that's why it looks darker, because I was attempting things today. This didn't really work out. So I don't know. Okay, I'm going to finally get off of here now. I'm going to do some editing, listen to some 3 Doors Down, and try to find that weird-ass Idaho show. And maybe that's what I'll do tonight to, like, sort of relax a little bit. And I'll just, like, record myself reacting to it as I'm watching it on my TV. We'll see. We shall see. Okay, you guys. Y'all have a great day. Thank you for listening to me talk about all this stuff and going over all this stuff and then listening to me rant about my hair, because there's more of y'all stayed in here than I thought. I know. Look at her. Oh, my God. Like, I want to go get her so that I can, like, show y'all her, like, up close. Oh, but I don't want to mess with her. I'm going to leave her alone. Until I get off of here. Then I'm going to go over there and attack her. Because that's just how it is. All right. You guys have a great afternoon. I will see you guys tomorrow. I don't know why I just did that. I will see you guys tomorrow. I might post something short today if I find something while I'm editing that I find important. So just FYI, I'm not against stopping my editing to throw something out that's important real quick. So we'll just do that. And I'll post the live for tomorrow. You guys have a great night. Let me go ahead and roll this out real fast. Please do not forget to leave a like on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. All right, you guys. See y'all.